Before operation, check the overhead view. Do not operate within 10 feet of a power line.
When operating boom, please ensure that public civilians are at a distance of 50 feet away from boom for safety.
Then, begin your daily maintenance checks. First, check the engine oil of the truck. Remove the dipstick from the engine to ensure the levels are satisfactory. Next, check the hydraulic oil with all cylinders retracted. When the truck is on level ground, the oil levels should sit between the low to high marks in the sight gauge, about half to 3/4 of the way to the top of the gauge. In order to turn on power takeoff, start the engine and make sure the transmission is in neutral, the parking brake is set, and the engine is operating below 900 RPMs. Then, press up on the rocker switch to engage PTO. The switch in the middle of the pedestal activates which side of the truck will control operation: driver side controls or passenger side controls. Flip the switch to the side you want operating the boom and grapple. Then, switch on the fast idle feature located nearby. The control levers for boom and grapple operation are located to the right and to the left of the pedestal. Begin by moving the outriggers out and down to stabilize the loader on firm ground. Next, remove the boom lock safety pin. Store in the proper safety pin position. Navigate the boom using the joysticks located on the pedestal. Next, position the KnuckleBoom for daily maintenance. For daily grease maintenance, begin with lubrication of the slewing ring bearing and pinion teeth. Using heavy-duty gear lubricant, start on one side and apply a light coat all the way around the fluid ring. Coat all teeth. Next, grease the pins that connect the main boom to the pivot. Pump grease in until grease is forced out. As you grease, also inspect keepers, nuts, and pins on all sides to make sure they are in place. Grease the main boom cylinder where it attaches to the pivot, checking the keepers and pins. Then grease the main boom cylinder and the tip boom cylinder. Inspect both sides of the cylinder for secure pins and keepers. Next, grease the pin that connects the main boom and the tip boom cylinder on the rod end. Again, inspecting for keepers in the pins on both sides. Grease the tip extend cylinder and the extend boom. Inspect for secure keepers on pins. Grease the extend boom cylinder on the rod end, checking for pins and keepers. Finally, grease the extend boom roller, the top knuckle pin and bottom knuckle pin, checking to ensure pins and keepers are in place. Next, make sure all grapple cylinders and pins are properly greased on both sides. Now, check the back door to ensure all latches are operational. Check that both the top latch and bottom latch secures into the correct locked position. Then, install the safety pin. Next, we will cover the weekly maintenance checks. For complete weekly service and maintenance requirements, refer to your operator's manual. Begin by checking the swinging drive gearbox oil level. Remove the two bottom cover screws and the covers on both sides. Loosen the top screws, raise the cover, and place the bottom screws in the top holes to maintain a raised position. Next, unscrew the plug to check the oil. Checking the gearbox oil will require using the loader dipstick and is provided in the manual packet upon receipt of equipment. Using the loader dipstick, position flat on the top of the gearbox cover to check oil levels, ensuring levels are at or above the center hole. If the dipstick does not fully insert, rotate the boom just a little until the gear no longer interferes with the dipstick. Next, grease the slewing ring bearing. Lubricate while rotating the ring through 2 cycles to evenly distribute the grease. To do this, swing the boom 5 degrees from the start.
Before moving boom to grease the next area, ensure that the boom is placed on the ground for safety.
Pump grease 3 times at each location. Continue spinning 5 degrees all the way around until you've completed an entire circle with the ring. Then, repeat this process in the opposite direction, again rotating every 5 degrees to grease.
Ensure that boom is securely placed on the ground before exiting operator platform.
To grease the tip extend boom, fully extend the boom. Apply the grease to the side of the boom. Using a putty knife, spread the grease to the sides, the top, and also to the bottom, coating each area with a thin layer of lube. As the boom becomes contaminated with dirt, grime, sand, and other debris, a pressure washing must occur before new grease is applied. Next, extend out both outriggers to fully grease. With a grease gun and a putty knife, apply a few pumps of grease onto the outrigger and spread thinly to all 4 sides. Then, grease the 2 bearings on the grapple swivel. Apply 3 pumps of grease weakly to both the top and the bottom bearings. In order to grease the outrigger tube fittings, first, retract the outriggers up and in. Pump 5 to 6 shots of grease onto the top and bottom outrigger tube fittings. Repeat for both outriggers. The rear door hinge pins must also be greased. Grease both the top and bottom hinges until grease is forced out. Next, grease the body pivot pins underneath the truck. Lubricate both body hinge pins until grease is forced out. Finally, lubricate all pins on the body dump cylinder until grease is forced out. You must also check the hydraulic tank filter weekly to make sure it is clean. Begin by starting the engine, turning on the PTO, and switching on high idle. The needle in the filter indicator should remain green when running with warm oil. Loading. Before operation, check the overhead view. Do not operate within 10 feet of a power line. After performing daily maintenance, you are ready to begin loading. Situate the truck as close to your loading pile as possible. Turn high idle on and let down the outriggers to stabilize the truck without lifting the front tires off the ground. Decide which side you are operating from and flip the switch to activate the correct side controls. Remove the safety pin. Place it in its holder and begin loading. Maneuver the boom and grapple using the joysticks.
When operating boom close to the cab, please be aware of operator head clearance.
Extending the boom out, retracting the boom back in, and raising the load to the body. Always retract the boom extension before taking the pile to the body. Once finished loading, store the boom back in line with the body and replace the pin. Then, retract the outriggers. Caution: ensure truck body is on firm, level ground before unloading. To unload the body, unpin the rear door latch. Use caution as you never know what is resting against the inside of the door. Swing one door around to the side and prop open with the chain. Repeat on the other side. Ensuring the boom lock pin is in the correct position, raise the main boom up while tilting the tip boom down and extending the tip boom. Now you are ready to raise the body. If everything has not been unloaded, slowly pull the truck forward to empty the rest of the load from the body. When the body is completely empty, return the body to its lowered position and fully retract the boom to its lowered position, resting on the floor of the body. Unchain the doors, close and repin the latch. For complete detailed information, refer to your operator's manual. A service parts manual is provided. For any service parts inquiries, contact PacMac's Customer Service Manager at 601-764-4121. That's 601-764-4121. Thank you.